The MonsterVerse lives. Let that sink in for a little. With the announcement of the new MonsterVerse TV series, you can feel the slow building hum of the monster fandom starting to pulse like Godzilla's intimidation display. There's a lot of stuff to be happy about with this new show, but there are definitely some concerns as well. But I want to first talk about the exciting things to look forward to. Number 1. More beautiful lore. I have zero shame in admitting my love for juicy, detail-riddled lore. Middle-earth, Halo, Star Wars, I can't get enough of learning about a bunch of made-up characters, worlds, and settings. So the lack of something like this in the monster and kaiju world has always bummed me. Monster movies tend to be one-offs, or reboots of their stories often enough where there isn't much lore beyond making sure the monsters stay true to their design roots. There have been some attempts to do this, but none of them have ever stuck around for very long. Now with this new MonsterVerse TV series, the universe created here can continue to grow and expand. All those titans we've heard about but never seen any of them due to movie limitations could now possibly be brought to the forefront of the universe, allowing it to branch out and hopefully turn the MonsterVerse into a timeless collection that could go on for years to come. Some of the question marks left from the movies and graphic novels may finally be expanded upon, and that's awesome. Number 2, a chance to bring in more fans. You may not be a fan of streaming platforms or binge watching, but having a series that's highly accessible all over the world through the $5 a month Apple TV subscription is only going to create more monster and kaiju fans. The MonsterVerse has done a mostly good job at bringing kaiju to a level that non-diehard fans can appreciate, and now the folk who like to stay at home and watch TV shows will have a kaiju series to look forward to. More fans equal more kaiju content for the rest of us. Number 3, Godzilla is here to stay. After Godzilla vs. Kong, the legal rights for the MonsterVerse to use Godzilla was very much up in the air. The initial deal Legendary and Toho made was set to end after Godzilla vs. Kong, but it appears like Toho is very happy with allowing Legendary to keep this epic version of the character going. So it seems that unless the series is a complete disaster, or they do injustice to the King of the Monsters, that Godzilla is not going anywhere in the MonsterVerse. But it still may be some time before we see the G-Man make another major appearance in a feature film. A chance to make human characters stand out. Look, no one is going to argue that we don't want to see more monsters in our monster fantasy world. But a TV series allows the potential for the human characters to finally be fleshed out enough to allow the viewers to not just tolerate them, but to also eventually enjoy the time that they're on the screen. Now, I'm worried about the amount of monster combat we're going to see in the series, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. But the added runtime of a full-on TV series will make it a lot easier for the creators to bring forth human characters that we may become attached to. In today's competitive TV series industry, a vital human character that can connect to the audience is key. How popular do you think The Witcher show would be without Geralt, right? It's going to be difficult to create characters that the viewers can connect with, but as long as the creators don't get too brave or stupid with some of their writing, you don't have to do much to make the characters fun for everyone. Or at least most people. A show like Peacemaker does a fantastic job with its variety of human characters, and while the MonsterVerse series won't be a raunchy action comedy like Peacemaker, I imagine, that same level of secret government workers' character building could be achieved in a relative manner for the MonsterVerse. Monster fights, plain and simple. Seriously though, we are going to get to see some more monster fights, and in anything kaiju, that's the true end goal. Now, it's not all fanboy excitement here. I have some concerns that I hope this series strays away from. Reasons to be worried about the MonsterVerse series. Number 1, a lack of Godzilla and the Titans on screen. I know there will be Titans and Titan battles, I just don't know how much. I assume this series won't have a budget as high as the individual movies had, at least not in its first season, and the price of monster animation has always held the MonsterVerse back, or at least that's what we assume. So if the movies struggle to get Godzilla on the screen for more than 10 minutes in their multi-$100 million productions, I can see how the show is going to struggle with this as well. But if the series is well made, they can skip around this, but people are going to watch for Godzilla and the Titans, and if they blue ball us fans with not putting them on the screen, it's going to be hard for the show to last longer than one season. Number 2 reason to be worried a little bit, vagrant modern politics. The world isn't perfect and us humans have a lot of work to do. But this series really needs to lean away from forcing modern politic arguments in our faces. This doesn't mean they need to act like they don't exist, but it certainly shouldn't take away from the focus, which is the monster apocalypse going on. Too many bad shows focus on modern politics, and too many good shows try to throw it in and it just comes off cringy. But there have also been plenty of shows who respectfully include it into their stories, in ways that make us laugh or in ways that we don't even notice. So unlike a lot of the other series being made right now, the MonsterVerse is being made not based off of old books that have been around for decades, so really it would be hard for them to kinda, y'all know what I'm getting at. There isn't any source material to screw up here. Number 3. Boring human characters and a lame story. Just like I said, the show has a chance at creating outstanding characters, it also has a chance of creating boring and unlikable characters. The MonsterVerse has been mostly just okay with its casting and writing considering things, and I don't think just okay is going to cut it in a series, unless they do somehow manage to make Godzilla and the Titans major players in each and every episode. If the show doesn't have at least 1 or 2 really good characters, it may end up being a hard watch. And on top of that, I don't think the show can be about people standing in a room talking about the monsters. There really needs to be more personal and intimate interactions with the Titans in order for the viewers to feel the tension of how that situation would really be. If 90% of every episode is people looking at the screen making assumptions about the Titans, we are going to have another potentially ball-busting scenario of underperformance in the MonsterVerse. The recent Toho Godzilla animes and Godzilla King of the Monsters are good examples of how the characters and story could potentially harm the success of the series. Not saying you can't like them either. If you do, that's awesome, but I'm looking at the big picture here. I want this series to succeed and really overachieve, and I think it has a chance. Let me know what has you excited and worried about for the MonsterVerse series being made in the comments down below. Stomp the bell to stay notified when we upload more MonsterVerse TV series videos, and as always, this has been Jacob. See you all in the next one.